Welcome to the Musician, Technician, Entrepreneur Show, brought to you by the Digital Audio Recording Arts program at the University of St. Francis in Joliet, Illinois, preparing students who are passionate about music to succeed in the music industry, offering a Bachelor's of Science degree in Digital Audio Recording Arts, with a concentration in recording artist, audio engineering, music industry entrepreneur, or professional audio for user-generated content. Go to DARAUSF.com for more information. DARAUSF.com. DARAUSF.com. Hey, welcome to the Musician, Technician, Entrepreneur podcast. My name's LB Odom.
And I'm Jeff Jaskowiak. And today, making it not even just the podcast, we actually have the Musician, Technician, Entrepreneur show. And today we have one of our featured graduates from the program, Matt Morgan. Hey there.
Hey, what's up, guys?
I need some special effects. I'll work on it.
Okay. So we're gonna play some of his new, some of the new music off the new album today. Which one are we gonna start with today?
Let's play "Pick Me Up" first.
Yeah, that's your favorite one, right?
That's my personal favorite.
All right, let's start with your favorite one, and then we'll dissect from there.
Yeah.
So
Well, now I know why that's your favorite because it's got a really long guitar solo.
Yeah, you could say that.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about the band first, like just the the members and maybe how you guys got together.
So we all went to school together in elementary school. I've actually first met Joel, our drummer. Me and him were in the first grade together, and I met Rocco and Brendan, shortly like after that time, and we were actually just laughing the other day because we, like when high school came around, we all kind of went into different crowds, but in elementary school, we all used to go to the same parties together, with our moms and whatever.
You mean like kids' birthday parties?
Yeah. But we all had an interest in music, even in high school, coming out of high school, and we put the band together actually in March of last year.
Yeah.
So we're coming up on our 1-year anniversary.
Yeah.
We've been actually playing together since my middle school. I remember doing the talent show with Joel in 8th grade. In high school we had a band together, with some other guys, but it all kind of came together. One day, Brendan just came over to my house out of the blue, and we were writing music together. I had my
Brendan, he's the singer?
Yeah, Brendan's
Oh,
our singer. We were writing music together. This was like 2014, 2015. And we had come up with a song called All Has Been Done, which is actually, it's on our album. The original version that we had come up with was totally different. But we made the song like out of the blue, like in one day. And we were like, whoa, we need to do something with this. This is a good sound. And then, of course, we didn't talk for like a year or two. And he was in a band with his dad called Scorned. And eventually that ended, and there was an Alice in Chains cover band called Facelift, and they play in the Chicago area, Joliet area. But eventually, Brendan came around and he wanted to jam and continue writing songs. And I was in the process of ending school here, and basically, I said, why not? Let's do it. Let's, if we're gonna do it, let's do it now. And it all kind of just started working out. We started writing songs together, practicing. We did a lot of practice sessions here in the studio, just trying to find, what exactly we were going to go for. And it became what it is today.
Yeah. So, did you start tracking that song here in the school studio when you were a student still?
A lot of the stuff that we did early on in my basement.
Okay.
Just tracking demo tracks of guitars, just trying to get ideas out. A lot of the songs were very organic in the sense that everybody was a part of it, and there wasn't too much, like I wrote this song and I'm gonna bring this out and we're gonna just play this the way it's written. A lot of it was like, I wrote a part, let's just jam it out and see where it goes. There's a couple songs we already had written. And we'll talk about those ones, but a lot of it was just very organic. Wasn't a whole lot of thought put into it. I think a lot of it was, if we're happy with how it sounds and if it sounds good, let's just play it, see where it goes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it feels like things are moving really well and fast. I mean, for being together for under a year, I was just like kind of looking at some of your stuff, like. Your Seasons, the video you guys did for that was it over 12,000 views now on YouTube? It's getting up there, some pretty high numbers.
Yeah, I haven't paid too much attention to it, but
I think your Facebook thing. I was just kind of checking it out. I mean, the social media stuff looks like it's for a band that hasn't even been together for a year. It's like very promising kind of thing.
Yeah, and I mean it's definitely moving faster than I expected, to say the least. And I have to say, a lot of it is Brendan and his voice. I would have to say that Metal Injection and Loudwire and a couple other websites, they shared articles based on Brendan, but they kind of gave a shout out to us.
Yeah.
They gave a shout out to you?
Yeah, a chout. Yeah. But
Is it shout or chout?
it's chout with a ch sound.
And is that of a meaning?
No.
See, you should go with that, though. You should go, come on, give us a shout out when you're at the concerts.
We made the name. We just wanted it to be simple. It started off as an inside joke, and I think it's just going to stay that way.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to make any sense to anybody. But we just wanted it to sound simple and beefy, and we had the name along with the album cover of our album with that name in mind. We just wanted it to be very beefy and I don't want to say ugly, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's. I'd like to play Seasons next. What? Tell us about that song just a little bit, and also the video looks fabulous. Who's doing your video stuff?
Yeah, actually, if I could give a shout out to anybody,
Yeah, there you
Well
go.
done.
it's our video guy, Alec Burke. Alec was also a high school friend with us. I've known him since I was little. So I mean, he even goes, before that. But Alec Burke, he did our video. He's great at what he does. He puts a lot of it together. Even with the budget, like he did a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
We barely spent anything on all this, and the work that he put into it, very, very, very respectable. I would definitely say, I just want to give a shout out to his Instagram if you want to follow him. He's actually at the Lucid Youth. For all you other bands that are listening that want to get some work done, definitely go to Alec.
Cool. Well, let's play it. This is Seasons by Chout.
Somehow you think that I don't own you.
All right, man, that was rocking. So how'd that song come to be?
That song was actually an accident. I was messing around with the guitar, and at a lot of our practices, we start off strong, and we usually end up just kind of end up relaxing and drinking. But
Warm milk, right?
yeah,
And tea and stuff sometimes.
yeah, suitable stuff
With lots of honey.
I love honey. But no, I came up with the guitar riff just literally by a complete accident. I was sitting there playing the guitar, messing around, kind of, I don't even know the way to describe it. I was just playing random notes, whatever. And then Brendan stopped me and he was like, "That sounds really cool. Keep playing that." And eventually it turned into a song. Our first two songs that we wrote together was Seasons and our song To Lose. And I would have to say, I'm giving another shout out here. Our friend Jim, he was the one that actually really helped us format that song. So I mean, Jim definitely has a part in that song as well.
Nice.
Is that how most of your songs go? That you, just somebody will come up with an idea or a riff, and then you'll say, "Okay, here, play this," and they go, "Oh, I got an idea for that. Let me go that." Like, does Joel, like for example, go, "Oh, I hear this. You guys got to do something like this." Does that happen? Like a lot, where like you come to a place in a song and you go, and somebody goes, I think it needs to go here."
I would definitely say that. I think a lot of that is Rocco, our bass player. He hears something, and he'll straight up just tell me, "Oh, that just sounds lame. Like, do something else." And I have to sit there and I have to rethink stuff, and it comes together. Eventually, we can all come together on something that we all agree with. I think with the first album, it was just kind of, I don't want to say magic, but it felt that way. Yeah. A lot of it was just kind of in the moment. This sounds really good. Like, let's not argue about it. If we're gonna agree with it, let's just sit with it and just see where it goes. With the new stuff that we're working on now, and we are working on new stuff, it's a little bit more thought out. I would say that, but that's still like that essence of us just getting together and playing and not worrying about it too much is still there. With this song, and this is like our most talked about song. I mean, obviously, we got a lot of links posted to it everywhere. I think this song, I'm trying to think the best way to say this. This song, I mean, obviously it's our most popular, but I would say it's probably our least complex in a way.
Yeah.
It's just very simple. It's very rocking. It's kind of like over and over. But I mean, that's pretty much it. I think it's just a good song for it to be the song that helped kickstart the whole band.
Right. So I saw on your YouTube that you guys went on tour. In fact, you have a really cool video. I think it was "Pick Me Up," right? The first song we played, and then there's like tour footage. You guys went East Coast. Is that where you went?
Yeah, we played just a couple dates. I mean, we're still an independent band, so we don't have the money and the backing to play all these places in the East Coast, and plus the East Coast as an independent band is so hard to book.
Yeah.
A lot of the venues don't want to see you there unless you're, drawing a lot of people, which at the time, we could not do that. But we went to Philadelphia and played in Rhode Island, and we played in Long Island. It was a lot of fun. We got a good reception everywhere we went. A lot of the people, really dug our music. I thought it was a good experience to get out on the road for the first time, as a band. It's my first time even going on the road in general with a band.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know about the other guys. We haven't really talked about it too much, but...
Did you load up in a van and a trailer, or what was the...
Actually, no. We did, the worst possible thing that we could do, which was... We had no van at the time, so we had to take 2 compact cars.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how far away, mileage-wise. It's got to be over 1,000 miles to Philly.
Yeah.
But no, it was grueling. By the end of it, I'm pretty sure me and Brendan wanted to kill each other.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, and then we went on our way home. We hit this huge snowstorm, and we were still only in Cleveland trying to get back to Joliet, Illinois. It was a nightmare.
Well, you did it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So Do you have a van and a trailer now, or is that in the future?
We did get a van.
Yeah,
We
good.
did get a van.
Yeah, yeah. Seems like a kind of a necessary move to take it on the road. So
Yeah.
good.
No. When we go out on the road again, we're definitely not going to be taking 2 cars. We'll have space to actually put all of our equipment and not get mad at each other.
Sure.
Sitting in the same compact car for hours.
Sure. Well, yeah, go ahead.
When you were saying you had in the compact cars, did you mean your amps, guitars, drums, and you guys were all in those compact cars?
Yeah, it was everything. and our video guy
Did he
came.
have to take the heads off the drums and wear them? Kind of like just to fit in that car. Holy cow!
No, it was exactly that. Our video guy Alec, he came with us actually too. So in one of the cars, he was trading places. He was like, oh man, like who do I have to handle today?
Yeah.
So he was like switching cars. Whatever car seemed the most easy option at the time, he was just riding in that one.
Well, I enjoyed watching the video. It's a nice collection of video that he did on the road there. So.
Oh no, it was
Yeah.
very worth it. We didn't watch most of it, the stuff that he was taping on the road, and for him to put together all of that and make it look so good, my mind was completely blown.
Yeah, amazing. Well, let's play one more song. You got another one you want to play?
I mean, what do you guys want to play?
I have So Long, Long Gone queued up.
Yeah, let's do that one.
Someone suggested that one, so okay.
Can't believe all the things you kept inside. Can you see that I never really needed time? I do believe
Nice, man.
Real nice.
So that was So Long, Long Gone from Chout, and we're here with Matt Morgan, guitar player, background vocalist, and let me add a couple other things. You are also engineer, right? And producer. Did you mix also, or?
Yeah, as far as the recordings go, I did pretty much everything. You know, when it came down to finishing it, I think I was definitely looking to the final approval from the band if this sounded good or not.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But
The thing I like about it is you learned full, clear, balanced. You got some really great sounds. You know, that's the mantra here at the school, you know, when we're doing either live or doing mixes, and it has that heft. I always loved, I mean, Joel has been one of my favorite drummers since I heard him back in the day when you actually did this show when we first came here to record back. Was that the talent show you were talking about? When you and Joel were in that band and you guys won the day recording here?
that wasn't the talent show I was talking about, but yeah, I do definitely remember that. That was we played at the Judson Church. It was at that,
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
rock,
yeah,
rock,
yeah, I
the
remember
rock that we
Yep.
did. Yeah,
and that was when I first met you guys.
yeah,
Yeah.
But after I heard him there, I went, man, this guy is so good, you know, as a drummer. And I really, the thing I'm saying about it is you did a really nice job recording his drums. Yeah, what did you do for that? Like, how'd you do that?
Well, definitely, I would say the big part of what I learned definitely from here at DARA. For the drums, it was kind of more of just a traditional setup. I mic'd all the toms. I put overheads, you know, snare over, snare under. And, I mean, I don't like to overdo things in my mix. I think that when you add too much to a mix, it kind of just becomes a giant mess and harder to control. So a lot of it was just taking out the bad frequencies in the sound, you know, without getting into the specifics of it, you know, just taking out those frequencies that when you boost them too much, it's like, ow, that kind of hurts my ears. Just
Yeah.
taking all those frequencies out and just brightening it a little bit, you know, and turning it up where it needs to be turned up to match the other instruments.
Did you learn that from the advanced mixing class with Frank Papalardo?
I didn't learn it in the class, but I did learn it in the 2 days that I got to meet Frank.
Ah.
And
Oh, you
Frank,
didn't get to take that class?
I didn't get to take the class.
That was
no.
awesome last year.
Yeah, he did do a clinic with us last year. Yeah.
Yeah, I did one or two of his clinics, and everything that I learned, I think, about mixing is kind of attributed to him in a way. He's a genius.
Yeah, he's a
he
master.
Did live mixing with, you know, so many different huge artists that the guy knows what he's doing. I just kind of sat there like a sponge and soaked it in.
Yeah. Yeah. So, 2 kick mics or 1 kick mic?
Just one.
Okay. D112, Beta 52.
Both, actually. I just switched off, but I would mess with the sound later on.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
sometimes you'd use one and sometimes you'd use another. You don't have a preference?
No, I don't have a preference for mics in general. I
Yeah.
know that's kind of a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
I think that you can use any mic to get anything done.
Yeah.
You just have to know how to use it. You know, I think I even remember when we visited the VSOP studios. And I can't remember.
Matt Hennessy.
Yeah, Matt
Yeah.
Hennessy was talking about how some artists would just record their vocals into an SM57
Right.
and not even have headphones on. They'd just be blaring the studio monitors in their face. And I thought that was, to me, was profound. I thought that was crazy.
Right.
And then I just started doing stuff like that, just experimenting, and it was perfect. It always, you know, you can do what you need to do if you know how to do it, if
Right.
that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah. Rules are meant to be broken. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Nothing is set in stone, especially in this art.
Yeah.
It's a matter of how do you want to get it done, and once you get that done, you know, as far as recording, all right, well, now how are you gonna fit that into the mix, and how are you gonna make it sound good?
Do you have a certain technique you like to use for snare drum? I mean, you said top, bottom. Do you have a certain way you point the microphones, or?
I think it's more for me. I like using the SM57 on top, or I'll use the 421. I think the 421 gives it a little bit more of like a boomy sound.
Yeah.
It's a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
And the SM 57, I think to me it's a little bit more bright. Not bright in the sense of like you get that like that, I don't want to say sizzle because that's a bad term for that. But
maybe presence.
yeah, the presence of it. For either one, I don't do much to it afterwards. I will mix it. Just take out those bad frequencies, like I said. Take out all the low end that doesn't need to be there. Boost the top end a little bit, and just kind of, as far as compressing goes, on everything that I compress, I will compress it to the point where the ticker is barely moving.
Uh-huh.
I don't want it to like really go past, like 2 in the threshold. Really,
Sure.
I will have it to where when it's hit, if it's really like a really really hard hit, it's gonna barely move. I don't like to compress it too much because I think that gets rid of that actual sound and what it's supposed to sound like. I think it makes it's very studio uniform, and I think that as far as like being in a rock and roll band that wants to sound authentic, I think that kind of like throws it off a little bit for me.
Yeah, you have a favorite compressor that you like on the drums, or?
The Fairchild.
Okay.
I love the Fairchild. I will
Yeah.
use that compressor on everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice one, definitely. How about overheads? You got some favorite mics for overheads?
I really don't have a preference
Yeah.
for overheads. I'm trying to remember those ones that I used. They weren't the AEAs, but they were those ribbon condenser mics. Those
N22s.
yeah.
Oh, the
yeah.
AEA N22s.
Yeah, those are not mirror mics though. Those are really
nice.
nice.
Yeah, those are
clear.
perfect mics for overheads.
Yeah.
I think, in my opinion, they're a little dark, but especially for rock, I think that's perfect.
Yeah, it kind of tames the high frequencies in the cymbals.
Exactly, and it leaves me to the point where I don't have to do much mixing afterwards. I can just do very minimal mixing, as far as the drums, because I think the overheads are there more for a background sound,
Yeah.
and it's really just the drums that the drummer's hitting, head on with the mic right in front of it. I think those are the drums that matter, and the overheads are just there to fill in the sound.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely that's definitely a rock approach,
Yeah.
Might be vice versa for like a jazz album or something like that where you're emphasizing the overheads a little bit more, but yeah. How about the toms? What you got, mics? You like to go floor toms and tom or?
For the mics, I just use the 421,
Yeah.
similar to the snare.
Yeah. Those are solid tom mics.
Yeah. But I mean, even that, I like to get rid of the terrible like mid frequencies in the toms. Mm-hmm. The ones that kind of just make them sound very like 80s like.
Yeah.
And I like to make them a little bit more boomy, but I don't want to make it like, when you're listening in the car, I don't want to necessarily make the toms shake the car like the bass should. I like the bass to be the biggest loud presence as far as low frequencies, but the toms, they should be felt. They definitely should be felt.
Yeah.
But I don't want them to be overpowering everything.
Right. Yeah, Jeff, I think maybe what we're experiencing here is what we always teach in classes. The most important thing is the source. Mm-hmm.
Having a good source, right?
Yeah, and a lot of it's probably just in the way Joel's hitting the drums, making Matt's life easy.
Oh, totally. Yeah, Joel is a blast to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do when people go to see you, do they like? What are some of the feedback on the performances and things of that sort? Like when they, and again, I want you to also talk about maybe the revival, this new kind of rock revival, and your place in this stream of history, basically.
I think when we first started performing, our first couple of shows, we were definitely a new band. We didn't know exactly what we wanted to do or how we wanted to portray ourselves live. We had energy, but it was mostly just kind of like untamed. It was really all over the place. But I think a big band that we look up to that is close to us is our friends over in California. We know a band called Joyous Wolf, and we kind of work with the same people that they do. And Joyous Wolf is ridiculous live. They are so good.
Are they a 4-piece too?
They are a 4-piece, yeah. And their singer Nick, this guy's crazy. He moves around like he's James Brown, but then he'll climb on top of like scaffolding and like jump off. And it's ridiculous. He does like front flips and back flips on stage, and you know, we're kind of like just sitting there like in the Dewey Cox movie when they're like, how are we gonna follow that?
Right.
It's the same idea, but I think that we learned a lot from them and how to make our live performance a little bit more exciting, you know. But a big part of it is just playing as a unit and kind of staying where you belong in the song, you know.
Yeah.
Not trying to overshadow anybody or be too much, you know. If you're going to be a band, you got to be together. You got to be a collective. And I think that we have definitely got that.
Mm-hmm. I'd agree. Yeah. Should we play one more?
Yeah.
You want to do Restless Heart? I know it's a little bit of a long one, but...
Sure. Here's Restless Heart by Chout. Nice, man. Great tune. That was Restless Heart by Chout on their debut record called Dogwater. So off the air there, we were talking a little bit about jamming with riffs, guitar riffs, and I think that that seems to be your forte, huh?
Definitely. I am a big Tony Iommi fan, and I love Randy Rhoads.
Yeah.
I a lot of the music that I make personally, even before I bring it to the guys, it's all kind of riffy type stuff. But I mean, as far as like musical influences, I'm kind of all over the place too.
Yeah.
I took a lot of inspiration early on from like Kurt Cobain, John Frusciante, and Frank Zappa especially. So I mean, I'm kind of like, I'm unsure of who I am as a guitarist.
Well, it seems like, at least in this particular project with Chout, that you're pretty defined. So, I mean, let's talk about just some of the sounds that you're getting, because there's some great guitar tones on this record. What were you using? What did you?
So generally, I don't have a huge preference on what to do, like as far as sound. I find that I can usually take any piece of equipment, whether a guitar, amp, and kind of work it in a way that I think sounds good for me.
Mm-hmm.
But my main rig is I use a Vox. It's like a similar AC. It's like an AC 15, AC 30 type deal, whatever you want to call it. Tube amp. Lots of big muff.
Yeah. Yep.
Other types of distortion. I like to use tape delays, all that kind of crazy stuff. But the main two guitars that I play are I have an Epiphone Les Paul. And we don't even have to get in the whole discussion of Gibson or Epiphone or whatever. But
Epiphone's good.
Yeah, it's tone. But I also have a Fender Strat, just a regular Fender Strat with the humbucker at the end.
Yeah.
But I've modified it so much to this point where it's not even a Fender Strat really anymore.
Right.
It's a Strat with a bunch of different Seymour Duncans in it. So
that's cool. Yeah. Yeah. So, other than the big muff, that's it. In between your guitar and the amp, is that mostly what you do? Is just right into the Vox? Or
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I surf the wah quite a bit, but I think that's just having that old school like influence. Honestly, it's just playing the wah so much. But as far as like the tone, I mean, there's really not much. When I'm just playing riffs, it's just me, a distortion pedal, and an amp.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing else added to it.
Yeah.
I don't try to add too much. I just like it big and I like it, loud.
Big and loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you're not using any guitar, simulators like in Pro Tools or anything like that? Are you ever using, because they got just some killer plugins now, where you can like make, virtually play through any amp you want to. Is that, did you do any of that on this record, or?
Yeah, I knew this question was coming. So I will say that half of the album is regular guitar tone through a mic, just 57.
Yeah.
And the other half, I didn't use any of the special gadgets or anything like that. I actually used the preamp that Pro Tools comes with. It's the 11.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I used the 11 because even when you just put it on the channel itself,
Right.
it sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds so perfect for metal.
Yeah.
And I just kept it that way. Maybe I changed like the mids, just boosted the mids up a little bit so you could feel that presence of the guitar. But
Now, was that on a direct signal from your guitar, or was that?
oh yeah, just direct signal.
Direct signal. Okay.
Some of the songs like Out of Time, like to get that really like just like crazy like wah sound, I would plug in through my like pedal into the signal and kind of just like overdrive, to the point where it was just too much. I like boosting things where there's too much gain.
Mm-hmm.
But not too much. Not too much. I don't like to add things that are unnecessary.
Sure. Sure. For the rhythms, are you using more of the Les Paul?
For the rhythms, I mean, honestly, it just depended on which guitar I was just holding at the moment. I would
Okay.
find a way to fit it to where I wanted to play it,
Yeah.
I play both guitars very frequently, so it wasn't like a huge thing for me to try to be like, "Oh, I need to use this guitar for this tone." I think that both guitars have a characteristic of their own.
Yeah.
And that should go even without saying, just comparing the Fender to the the Epiphone type models, but like either one sounds perfect for what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't afraid to just play one over the other.
Gotcha.
I used the Les Paul a lot, I will definitely say that, but I don't know, even the Fender itself, it still sounds just as good. So
Yeah.
I used both pretty much.
Yeah. How about your approach to tracking? And I know a lot of times when I've engineered like hard rock kind of stuff, it'll be 2 tracks where we'll double the take, pan hard left, hard right. Sometimes we'll do 3 tracks, do hard left, hard right up the center. Did you take an approach like that on this record?
Yeah, just a standard approach. I would track. I mean, some of the songs I tracked, I would like triple track,
Yeah.
just because I wanted all the different tones,
Yeah.
just to mess around with them.
Would you use different guitars for the, as your, or would you use this one guitar?
Oh yeah, no, I would use anything really. I even some of the stuff I used like a Fender Mini, just to see what it would sound like.
Okay.
Just to try to mess around with different sounds and stuff like that. Like even on the song that we just listened to, Restless Heart, I started off the song by playing on my Fender, because that's how I got that little like clean, nice sound in the beginning.
Yeah.
But when I came down to like the heavier parts, I used a lot of the Les Paul.
Right.
So it was definitely a lot of mixing of tones and mixing of guitars, just kind of not really any particular type of style, but a lot of layering. Even for a band that only has one guitar player, I thought I just wanted to make it sound big and good.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a discussion that comes up all the time in the studio is, do we want to record and make it sound just like we sound live, or do we want to make the recording sound huge, My vote is always to make this recording sound huge and then just let live be what live is.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where I stand.
Yeah.
And, I think even in live, it still sounds the same way it does.
Yeah.
It's the energy that drives the music. It's not necessarily what you're putting on it.
Yeah.
Especially in a live setting. A live setting is more of like a like a tribal experience than anything else.
Yeah, good way of saying it. Tribal experience. I mean, it's usually. I mean, it's the volume, it's the lights, it's the the immediacy of being there in person with the band. Who
Exactly.
cares if you don't hear that second guitar part? I mean, nobody's even going to care. It's just that's why I always say make the record be as huge as you can, and then just let live be live.
Yeah.
It worked for Led Zeppelin, so.
Exactly.
Well, I think our time is running out here.
Yeah. Well, it went quick. Our first on the air musician technician show. So this is fun.
Yeah, thanks for
Went fun.
coming back and visiting with us, Matt.
I was very excited to be a part of it. Thank you guys.
Yeah, best of luck with Chout and what's on the horizon now for you guys?
Well, we're working with management. We're just kind of trying to play out a little bit more. Just trying to get our name out there a little bit more.
What are the easiest ways to find your concert tours and connecting with you?
Like as far as like keeping up with the band?
Yeah.
We do a lot of work on Facebook. You can find us on Facebook. Just look up Chout. I'm sure there's not many things named that. So
CHOUT.
yeah, CHOUT. And we also have a website that we do everything, and we sell all of our merch on, which is chouttheband.com. You can find all of our news on there as well.